What's up everyone, it's Low Beauty Demon and we are back here to talk about internet BS, and it is definitely BS. We will be touching on some of Trisha Paytas's most recent behavior and Ethan Klein's responses to those behaviors. But before we get into that, if you have not already, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get a notification every time I post. Please don't send anybody that we talk about any hate, negativity, nothing like that. These are just my thoughts and opinions based on what I've been seeing play out on the internet. So if you have something to say, just shoot it down in the comments below. That's what they're there for. I also want to apologize for my raspy voice if it's coming across like that, because it feels really raspy, and I hope that means I'm not getting sick again over another freaking holiday. So recently, Trisha was doing TikToks and celebrating Hanukkah with like a Christmas tree in the background. And one of these TikToks was, the caption was something like, I can't remember, it was, when you can't pass conversion classes, so you pay a rabbi to say you're Jewish. And that got a lot of reaction from a lot of people. When I went on to TikTok, I saw a lot of people had stitched it, and a lot of people were pretty upset about it. Trisha really never spoke about it. I think that was the fourth night of Hanukkah when they did that TikTok, and after that night they didn't do any more Hanukkah lighting the menorah TikToks anymore. They did for the first 4 nights, but not the rest of Hanukkah. So I think they were like, people don't like this, so I'm not gonna do this trend anymore with them. Then a few days later, maybe like a week, I'm not really sure when the 4th night of Hanukkah is, Ethan actually did a very long response to it, and he called this out as being anti-Semitic for perpetuating the idea that Jewish people, especially Jewish men, only care about money, and that a rabbi would never accept a bribe just for somebody to say that they're Jewish. He went on to say that this was very disrespectful to his entire culture, and which is true, because this isn't necessarily just a religion, there is an entire culture that goes with it as well that dates back thousands of years. And to Ethan, it just showed that Trisha didn't want to go through these classes the right way. And with a lot of old religions, there is a lot of, steps and rituals. Rituals are, and rites of passage are what make religions sometimes. So after that went up, Trisha posted a video titled "To Ethan and Ela." And this was in response to all of the hate that they were apparently getting from this, which I feel like Trisha already was getting a lot of hate from that TikTok, but only decided to address it when Ethan actually responded to it, because, that is somebody that is more fair play for Trisha than like random other Jewish people who are offended by the stuff that Trisha is posting. So in this video, this is very much a like crying on my kitchen floor type trying to respond. It kind of reminded me of Trisha trying to get the same emotions that they had with that Twitter rant a few months ago. But in this, Trisha is acting very different. Trisha does not seem as overly emotionally invested. I feel like when Trisha is more excited about things, they speak a lot faster. I also felt like Trisha seemed to be forcing tears with this. They were trying to, like, with the dry heaving, force these kinds of things out. And sure, I did see some tears, but remember, Trisha wants to be a really great actress in Hollywood, so I guess you have to learn how to kind of cry. I will say this video has more views than, well, when I looked anyway, it had more views than any of the wedding videos that they had been posting the last like week or a few days. But Trisha said this video is not monetized, so I guess the view count really doesn't matter. Though I feel like if people are checking that video out, they're probably looking at other videos on Trisha's channel. So Trisha says they've asked Ethan to stop multiple times. Whenever they are asked to stop, even when Trisha is at their worst behavior, when someone asks them to stop talking about them or stop talking in general, they stop. Like that time Charlie D'Amelio said, "Stop talking about me." Dixie D'Amelio, Holocaust survivors, other Jewish people, the entire DID community. I feel like there are other major people that I am forgetting that Trisha has offended, and they have said, "Stop talking about us, get your name out of your mouth." Trisha is the one that has gone online and said, "Look, you're a public figure. When you're a public figure, it's fair play." So Trisha focuses on the TikTok and says it's not really fair for Ethan to be calling them out for this when this is a TikTok trend and other people were doing this, completely glossing over the fact of what she actually had as the caption for this is what his real problem was. Trisha has 3 other TikToks of them doing the same dance with captions that are gross as well. And you just have to wonder, what does Moses think about all this? Obviously, Moses is like recording these TikToks and lighting the menorah in these TikToks as well. Obviously, Moses like supports this, enables this behavior, and Ethan calls that out too. He says that Trisha has people around them that should know better, meaning Moses. But I feel like Trisha uses Moses as a scapegoat in a sense to some of their more problematic and scandalous things, because it just in that sense ends up tokenizing him as just, well, my Jewish husband says it's okay for me to do this stuff, so that means no Jewish people can get offended because my Jewish husband said it was okay. Trisha really wants Ethan to stop, but Ethan is a relentless adversary, and that was, I felt like, part of the reason Trisha teamed up with Ethan and Frenemies in the first place, because Trisha knew deep down Ethan doesn't back down, and if she's on Ethan's side, he will go to bat for her for anything. And that's kind of how Ethan is. He's, at least to me, he seems like a ride or die sort of person, and Trisha just flipped the script on him, so now he is relentlessly attacking her. Side note, I did also wonder why Trisha was wearing a hoodie zipped up inside out. Trisha also says Moses has nothing to do with this, but like we already said, Moses is filming all this stuff and enabling this and going along with this and kind of egging a lot of this on, I feel like. I mean, obviously we don't know what goes on behind the scenes or anything like that. It's just wild to me that Moses would be totally okay with the constant like back and forth and not be trying to help mediate this, and, you know, not be like making jokes about this or like sometimes filming some of this stuff. It makes me wonder if Moses likes this kind of back and forth, I wonder if it makes Moses feel like, you know, Trisha and Ethan fighting is almost like it's over him, and maybe gives Moses like some sort of attention that he craves in a sense. I'm just speculating though. He doesn't care that his wife Trisha is making offensive content that other people of his faith that he grew up and was raised in, they're offended by. But, you know, I mean, he may not be like overtly religious. Anyway, in Trisha's video to Ethan and Hila, Trisha says they've been working on themselves, which I thought had happened, you know, when Trisha was on Frenemies, but immediately afterwards, Trisha turned into Troll Trisha again. So I'm not really inclined to believe that any real work is being done, other than reading self-help books, maybe watching some videos, reading some religious texts. And all of that's not a bad thing. I mean, all of that is something, those are tools that can help us learn and grow, but it's not just about taking in that textual stuff. It's actually about learning it and applying it to the real world, which I have yet to see for the most part from Trisha. I haven't really seen areas of growth and learning, because when people of groups like Judaism come out and say, this is offensive to me, Trisha immediately becomes defensive instead of maybe taking a step back to listen to what they're actually saying and maybe learn that lesson that's being presented to them at that time. And Trisha talks about wanting to be enlightened. They thought they would be closer on that path, and really like wanting to achieve enlightenment. You're not going to achieve enlightenment if that's what your main goal is, because that's kind of like selfish in a sense. I've explained it in another video based on like other things that I've read, and it made sense there. But overall, I feel like a lot of this is just a big lesson that Trisha could be learning to help them on their path of enlightenment. But Trisha is not worried about actually becoming enlightened at all, so Trisha doesn't see the lesson that's being presented in front of them with this entire situation. But then just as quickly as the situation happened, the TikTok was removed. Ethan did actually talk about this in a very large segment in the podcast as well. That was completely cut out. And Trisha's video to Ethan and Hila was also deleted. So that left a lot of people speculating about what was going on. I feel like there had to be some sort of conversation. I initially thought it was because Hila stepped in and told Ethan to take stuff down, but of course Trisha's video came down too. And Ethan did also post a tweet saying he didn't really want to take it down, but he was pressured or forced to remove the content. Some kind of private conversation happened Perhaps Hila and Moses had a conversation to be like, look, we got to get our partners to stop doing this shit. Like, even if we don't really care about talking to each other anymore, like, we got to stop this. This is too much. This has gone too far. I mean, she wasn't even at her own brother's wedding because of Trisha. So that's got to be really difficult. Then again, I feel like Moses has been married a few times. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I have heard that Moses had like maybe like 2 other wives, maybe 3. I'm not really familiar with all of the Moses lore because it's just... ugh. But maybe the deletion of some of this, at least on Trisha's part, maybe on Ethan's too, is a sign of some growth. I know they are both guilty of being shitty people, so I'm not really on anybody's side with any of this. If anything, I'm on, I guess I'd be on Hila's side. But, I mean, I think the fact that, you know, Trisha made that whole video in the first place kind of takes away from like any like growth. It's like you were negative 50 points, but you got like 10 points for deleting it. Trisha and Ethan, I feel like, is probably gonna be a never-ending thing. Ethan will probably talk about Trisha again. Trisha will probably talk about Ethan again, and then I will at some point make a video about them talking about each other again. So that's kind of all I have to say about that. It was a pretty short video. I will say, Trisha, if you are watching this, please hire me to come and clean and organize your home. It is so painful to watch you have this beautiful home with built-in shelves, not have anything put away or inside of them. I can completely organize your entire life and make everything so much more accessible. I'm all about systems. I would love it. I'm not even like an OCD sort of person, but it just drives me absolutely insane that she has like built-in shelves and there's like nothing on it but some papers and a glitter baby or something. Anyway, that is it for today's video. If you liked this, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Laters. Bye.